Continue with our discussion of HTML basics. In our last little segment, we finished kind of how links work. So I wanted to do a quick review. So I'm just going to type this up here really quick. What is the syntax for a link? What is the syntax for a link? So the syntax is A. What does the A stand for? That's your anchor tag. href, hyperreference, equals, quote, and in here we put in our URL, and our URL is what? It's an http://www.dixie.edu. That would be an example of a URL. And so we have a href, http://www.dixie.edu, and then we have our bracket. Now, what goes in here is this is where you do the link text. And what this link text, this is what's going to show up for the link. And then we close off our anchor tag. So that's the syntax for a link. Now, what would happen if I forgot and left off my anchor tag and put an ahref above something? I'm going to go ahead and do that. I'm going to pull this out. I'm going to stick it above all of these H1s, and then I'm going to come way down here and then finish off my link text right here underneath it. Now, what's going to happen here? So I just wrapped this link with this link text down below here, and I don't even need that. I could pull that out if I wanted to. So what do you think is going to happen? Well, if you forget to close your anchor tag after your link text, what it does is it makes everything below that a link. So I'm just going to show you what that does if you forget to do that. So I'm going to save that, bring this up in the browser, hit refresh, and look, it made all those headings links to where? Well, Dixie. So it actually makes a huge number of links. So if you forget your link text and then /a, everything becomes a link below that. So if I go ahead and save this, it'll fix all those extra links, and now it's only the link text. So that's just kind of a little review on our links. There are other elements that we want to deal with in terms of linking to things. You know, we're dealing with links and anchors right here. Now, what if, I'll go ahead and place this where it should be, next to this. Kind of made a mess of my document for a minute there. So what if we wanted to link to, say, an image? Linking to images happens all the time on the web. So I want to make a hypertext, an HTML link to an image. So what is the code for that? Well, first thing we do is we type in img space src. That stands for image source equals quote. Well, now we can put in a URL. We have to either link to a file path that's relative to this document, meaning in the same hierarchy, file structure hierarchy, or we can link externally to an image from another site. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go out on the web. I'm going to bring up my browser, and I'm going to create a new tab in my browser. I'm going to go find some kind of JPEG image. So I'm going to go to Google.com, and I'm going to go to the images, and I'm going to type in Dixie State College. And we've got some nice little images. So I'm going to go grab this dstate logo.jpg. It looks like that looks like a good one. I can simply get that image by dragging that off. I'm going to go ahead and close out this window now and go back to my first website. I'm also going to rename this image as dixie.jpg. That's going to be its file name. That's a pretty good file name for that. And again, since it's in the same file hierarchy location as this index.html, I can link to it by just simply typing in its name, dixie.edu. Now, there is something that I need to point out here is with file names, we have to watch out for things that are case sensitive. Meaning if you have capital letters in the file names or spaces, you have to match the file name exactly in order for it to reference like this. So if I take that, I can do, if I want an alt in there, so I can say alt equals quote Dixie logo quote space slash bracket. So the syntax of this is we say image source img space src equals the file name. And now we have to recognize that there's a path associated with this, and we'll deal more with the different kind of paths for referencing files in different locations in a bit. The alt tag is what an alternative attribute that will display in case the browser is unable to load the image, and then your slash bracket closes out that tag. So if we save this now, we should be able to go back to our browser, hit refresh, and no image. Let's see, dixie.edu, dixie.jpg, dixie. That's where the problem is. So it has to be, I typed in dixie.edu and it needs to be dixie.jpg. I come back here, I go back to my screen, I hit refresh, and there's the image. So that's how you would reference an image. So for fun, what I'd challenge you to do at this point is I challenge you to go find, say 5 different images on the internet, copy them to your desktop, name them whatever you want, and then link to them in your document. That's a great challenge for you, and we'll pick up from there in our next lecture.